people are those who do what they don't feel like doing but have to do. It's easy for everyone to do things they want to do when they want to do, when they feel like doing. But trust me, a lot of times you're not going to feel that way. A lot of times you will just feel like, I want to do it a little later. So the first way to attack the thief of procrastination and make sure it doesn't steal your destiny is to prepare your mind mentally and to look at some of the consequences of not doing what you plan to do and the effect it's going to have, and to start looking at the outcomes and what the benefits of what you're going to do is going to be in the short to long term if you get to do it. I feel blessed today. It's an awesome day to be alive. Hello, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time on the channel, please go ahead, click the subscription key, click the like, give me at least 500 likes today. That will help the algorithm. That way, when I have new videos, you'll be the first one to receive them. Today, I'll be talking to you about something very important, right? Something that is robbing a lot of people of their destinies, of their future, and a lot of achievement in their life. I'm not talking here about indiscipline. I'm not talking here about the lack of ability to put yourself in a position to be of value. I'm talking about procrastination. I mean, don't get me wrong here. Listen, we all have procrastinated at different times in our life. And if you've never done that, put up your hand, let me see. Right? But the key here is there is a solution to that. Procrastination robs, at least from studies by Harvard University, robs people of at least 45% of their optimized performance. You need to understand how important it is. When you procrastinate, you postpone what is possible. And when you postpone what is possible, certainly one of the consequences is that things get to be accumulating and you never get to do them because it becomes overwhelming at that point. So the natural question I expect you to have in your mind right now, Mr. Achu, you're telling us of procrastination. We all know that. We all know what it is. We know what that problem is. But what do you have for us as a solution to help me to beat procrastination? And I want to talk about three things here, which are going to be very significantly helpful for you when you're trying to beat this, right? Hey guys, just a brief break from regular programming. You see, most human beings, if you really go deep into their heart's desire, they want three things. They want to live a life of growth and development in order to be relevant. They want to be able to build wealth and also leave behind a legacy that will last for perpetuity. In my Guarantee Your Legacy program, which is a custom designed program, I answer these three questions and more for you. I have limited availability on that program. It's an 8-week program whereby we meet once a week one-on-one with me. In addition to that, I'll walk through the different critical things that you need to be able to grow as a person, to be able to become relevant, to be able to impact people in order to create a legacy. And in doing that, you can also build wealth. If you already have it, I can teach you how to protect it, preserve it, so that way it lasts for perpetuity. Don't hesitate. If you would like to learn more about that program, click on the link down in the description section of this video, and I sure will see you on the inside. Let's go back to the regular program. The first one is being able to plan in your mind mentally a way to anticipate what is coming. What I mean by that is, for example, I have different tasks I do, and most of them are routine tasks. Getting up, maybe breakfast, preparing myself to record a video like I'm doing right now with this video you're watching. Or, like every human being, I've been lazing around a little bit. I went and took something to drink. I made some notes. I checked a little bit my social media page. And I'm looking for all excuses around the sun not to record the video now, but to give me a comfortable justification to do it later, right? But one of the key techniques I use anytime I find myself in that spirit is I have to psych my mind to think about, number one, what is the consequence if I don't get to do what I have to do at that time? And number two, what is it going to cost me to do it at that time? Number three, and most importantly, how is that going to keep me away from achieving the goal I stand to achieve? Now, one of my key priorities is every day I make sure I record at least one video for my channel to inform and to talk to you about something of value, right? And every time I find myself in a situation where I'm starting to procrastinate, I start thinking now about setting up myself. I think about the reviews that I get from the video. I think about some of the kind and lovely comments that some of you put under the videos to encourage me to do what I'm doing. I think about the fact that somebody is sitting somewhere in the world counting and waiting for this video to come true so they could get encouraged, they could get inspired, they could get motivated to move forward with what they want to do. And when I think about all those different things, I now take the responsibility to myself to not want to fail myself and fail all these people who are counting on me. So whether I like it or not, I intend to go do it. Because it is usually said, right? Great people are those who do what they don't feel like doing but have to do. It's easy for everyone to do things they want to do when they want to do, when they feel like doing. But trust me, a lot of times you're not going to feel that way. A lot of times you will just feel like, I want to do it a little later. So the first way to attack the thief of procrastination and make sure it doesn't steal your destiny is to prepare your mind mentally and to look at some of the consequences of not doing what you plan to do and the effect it's going to have, and to start looking at the outcomes and what the benefits of what you're going to do is going to be in the short to long term if you get to do it. The second way to get around that challenge is to look at what the consequences is going to be for your destiny, for your future, and for your goals if you don't do what you plan to do at the time you plan to do. Now, I know this might sound a little bit repetitive from the first one, but I want to draw a little allusion to this, right? Now, consequences are both ways. It could be consequences to the receiver and consequences to you, the emitter. But in your case, think about it this way. Let's say you have an exam, which is something very common for most people, and you have a month to prepare for that exam. A lot of people, usually, if you're like me and most people, you probably start preparing for that exam right when it's starting to get a lot of pressure. 1 week before the exam, maybe 2 weeks before the exam, you start feeling like you're behind. Your adrenaline starts running. You start feeling the pressure of the possibility of failing that exam. And then you tell yourself, okay, I got to get down to this and start working on it. What the high achieving people do, most likely the people who are going to see significantly better results in a situation like that, they start preparing right away, which means they start training their mind, they start working on it step by step, breaking down the task into smaller assignments and building on those assignments one assignment at a time, so that by the time they get to the exam, they are not in any rush, they are not under any pressure, and they are most likely putting themselves in the position to do exceedingly well. So the second technique for that, think about the consequences. What is it going to cost you in terms of time, in terms of doing it over again, in terms of failing, in terms of feeling bad about yourself that you didn't get to do what you promised to do. Now, the third technique to arrest procrastination and put it under control so it doesn't destroy a lot of the goals and dreams you have for yourself is to be able to break down whatever task you have to do into small, achievable goals. They say if you want to eat an elephant, you start a bite at a time. When you look at the entire project, it might seem overwhelming. I watched a video where this journalist was interviewing Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, I forget his name. They were interviewing the Will Smith, that's his name. And the journalist asked him what he does as his exercise routine, and he said he runs about 6 to 7 miles a day. Come rain, come shine, he will run his 6 to 7 miles. And the journalist asked him, man, that's a long distance to run. How do you manage to stay focused on the run and do it day in and day out? And he said something very interesting. He said he never worries about thinking of the 7 miles, neither does he look far ahead. All he focuses on, he looks down and he tells himself one more step. Just one more step. One more step. And by the time he knows it, he's completed his 7 miles. Take that same structure, move that same strategy in any goal you might have, in anything you're looking on, working on. Don't worry too much about the bigger outcome, because sometimes when you think of the bigger outcome, you think of all the effort it requires to get it done, and you can get overwhelmed. Think about one small task that you can do and which is going to be successful because it builds on the momentum. On that one small task, you can build on it and you'll be able to do the second small task, the third small task. And by the time you know it, this small task culminates into the bigger and complete project. Now, it is also very important to understand there are just going to be some days when you just don't feel like doing anything. There are some times when, like every human being, boy, no matter how hard you try, you will psych yourself, you will listen to music, you will play your best gospel sound like I do, you would listen to the great Les Brown and all the guys who can speak to your heart, your soul, and your mind, and your body will just not move. And in those times too, it's important to understand that it's okay to rest. Yes, I said so. It's okay to rest. It's okay to take a break. You see, we're living in a time today when we tend to feel guilty for taking a break. When we're made to feel like you just need to keep working. And I ask myself, but boy, you get born, by the time you know it, you spend so many decades in school, you finish, you spend so many decades, you retire at 65, they give you a gold watch, you have a pension, and life is over. There is a popular Fisher investments advertisement actually that has always stuck in my mind. I saw that thing over 10 years ago, and it really just encapsulates this whole idea, right? It's one of this an old couple, actually, a man and a lady. They are sitting in one of these luxurious boats in Venice, and you have the guy, paddling the boat, and they are sitting in it on vacation, and both of them are sleeping. And the idea behind the ad was basically saying, listen, don't wait until you get old to start being able to take a vacation. But in the sense, what it's really saying is simple, right? Sometimes, if you feel tired, take a break. Sometimes, if you feel like you need to rest, take a break. You are not a machine. You are not replaceable. You are not going to recreate yourself if something massive happens to you. You ask everybody you meet on the way, they will have 15, 20, 30 goals they want to achieve in their life until they have an illness. Then they have only one goal: to get better. So if you're alive, you're healthy, you're able to pursue your dreams and ambitions in this life, it's a great privilege. I hope this information meets you somewhere that can be of value to you. And by the way, if you want to have a one-on-one conversation with me, there's a link down in the description section. You can click on that link and we can have a conversation. On this channel, I focus on teaching people how to invest in themselves for personal growth, for profits, uncovering their purpose, and being able to build a life of meaning and building a long-lasting legacy. If that is something that is of interest to you, because that is of interest to 9 out of 10 human beings based on studies that are out there, then please click the link in the in the description. Let's have a one-on-one conversation. I'll be able to put together a personalized plan for you, and that is going to help you achieve some of the goals you might have in your life. But until the next time, be well, be blessed, and by all means, never stop being a blessing to somebody. And if nobody ever told you, let me repeat this to you again. You are enough.